join him in the life. So he did not create one white Adam and one black Adam or yellow Adam. He created only one simple Adam. And we all share that spirit. When you cut this flesh, what you're going to see pouring out is going to be blood. That blood has no color. And the color difference is because of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want to show us what difference He can, different from human being. So whatever He created and make different from our speech and our color of skin and our differences of our cultures is just to learn from each other and to see our level of thinking and respect to our fellow human being. So this is not something, the man is not like it was accused as doing any terrorism. We see them applying terrorists, they don't shoot them. They try to catch them and they even treat them better. All these people in Guantanamo, they call them terrorists. They have health care, they have everything. I don't have it, he doesn't have it. So why the same quality they can provide to Imam to bring him to justice? Then we will know if he's wrong, we will turn against him. But that's what the Bible says. If he was right, he was brought to justice, and he was wrong, we will tell him by eye contact, Imam wrong. But we have no opportunity because he died, they shot him, they killed him, they mistreated him, they left him die, and take care of the dog. Take the dog, helicopter, and take it to the most expensive and high end of a hospital. So, brothers and sisters, I thank you all, and let's strive for justice. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Imam. I want to reiterate what Reverend Charles Williams II said before he left in regards to the U.S. Social Forum coming to Detroit in approximately 1 month. And I encourage all of you here to go onto the internet and to read more about the Social Forum and to support the Social Forum. I've actually coordinated with one of the organizers, William Copeland, and we're going to have a room, and there will be Salat Jum'ah at the Khutbah and the Salah down at the Coble Hall here, inshallah, related to the Social Forum. So please go online and support the Social Forum. There will be people from all across these United States of America who will be coming for the forum, and there will be different sessions and just not speeches, but more importantly, calls to action, which after the next speaker, we're going to have a call to action for each and every one of you who has come today. Without further ado, I'd like to turn over the microphone to a soldier in the fight of social justice here in metropolitan Detroit for many years, the pastor at St. Peter's Episcopal Church down in the Corktown area, our Reverend Bill Riley Kelly.
I'd like to reiterate just briefly the importance of communities of faith and spirit participating in the forum. We have a lot to learn from the folks, the 20 to 30,000 people who are going to be gathered at Coble Hall. We have a lot to learn from them, but we also have resources to bring to this event. Resources of faith, spirit, struggle, that need to be being part of this gathering. I pastor in Southwest Detroit. Detroit is a border city. Southwest Detroit is patrolled not only by local police, but by Homeland Security, by Border Patrol, by ICE. That's emblematic of what it is to be a border city. There are folks who are coming from Texas, California, Arizona, who are making their way to this event as well. On our southern border, we're building a barbed wire wall, heavily surveilled, which forces people who try to cross in that area into the most deadly areas. The question actually is whether that border is going to run right through our community. We've made of the river what the Ojibwe people call Wawiatanan, where the river goes around the center of our bioregion. We've turned it into a barrier, a boundary, a border. And spiritually, they want that border to run right through our communities. They want it to run between our faiths, between our communities, to keep us separated. Part of what's happening at the social forum is a refusal to let that border divide us, to be spiritually divided. So I invite you to join us in for that week. And also, I guess I want to add here at the end that particularly with respect to the necessity for an investigation, an independent investigation into the killing of Imam Luqman, that we do need to stand together and that we're not going away. If they think they can keep the lid on this thing, drag it out, we'll forget about it. That's not happening. We need to be in this together, and we are.
Before we have the call to action, I'd like to make you all aware of another situation. Actually, the pastor was dealing with something related to this morning. But there is a woman in Macomb County, Michigan State Rep Kim Meltzer, who is planning on introducing to the state of Michigan an Arizona-type immigration law that was just passed that would allow local and state law enforcement officials to pull people in their vehicles and to ask them to produce documents proving that they are an American citizen. And many of our organizations are standing up vocally and are challenging this proposed legislation. Now, I want to mention 3 points to this that are detrimental. And I know some of you may say, well, I'm an African American, I'm not worried about being deported. You also know how it feels to be driving while black, but nonetheless, it does matter to all of us. And I'll make my points why. The first point is, do I look documented or undocumented? Do I look legal or do I look illegal driving down the street? Or does he look documented or undocumented? How can the police look at anyone driving down the street and tell whether they are documented or undocumented, or so-called legal or illegal? And the answer is they can't. And the criterion that will be used most likely to ask people, as in Arizona, is one, you have ethnic attire on, sisters wearing hijab or niqab, or